Welcome, welcome. Welcome to our drive home edition of the Culture Podcast, Chicago Millionaire Radio Show. All the shows I do, got Miss Cynthia Johnson, the mother of Phenom Jevon Carter on the show today. Play for the Chicago Bulls. Great mom. First time I'm ever interviewing a mom. CJ, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
You're welcome. I'm doing great, Bobby. Doing great.
Man, you know, now you got to know people. If she called me Bobby, she know me, all right?
We about to do Robert. Am I supposed to do Robert today? No, sir, Bobby. We go back too far, baby.
Ain't that crazy, man? This crazy how the world is.
We go back too far.
Man, I want to thank you, man, because, you know, we don't get a chance to talk to mothers a lot, or sons who are professional athletes. I don't get a chance to. And I hear stories and what goes on. And I know you was always hands-on. If anybody just joining us, this is Jevon Carter's mom, CJ, Cynthia Johnson. She was going to give me the opportunity to talk to her about some of the pitfalls, the ups and rises, ups and downs of what goes on with professional sports. I'm making sure it's live and I'm tagging your page while not making sure it's live, I'm making sure it's public. So okay. Hold on, I'm tagging you. So you might have to accept the tag once I tag you. So I just tagged you. I just like to tag the Chicago Sports Room. And then I shared in all the basketball pages. All right. There we go. All right, so we live now. So, I mean, we got everything tagged up. So, man, I tell you what, thanks for coming on. I want to tell you, man, job well done. You know,
thank you.
I was like, my son, you know, he actually know the guy who trains your son, and he was telling me like, man, Dad, Jevon, he's gonna be coming back to Chicago to play or something. He was like, had some insight to do talking about. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, you know, I was like, come think of it, I know his mother. I said, I think I remember his mother. I was like, but I couldn't remember where you was. I remember your name was CJ, but I couldn't. But then I ended up seeing a post on Facebook with somebody talking, and you chimed in. And I said, aha, there she go right there.
One of your friends that lived right a few doors down from me. And we used to hang out and watch games together and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Little did they know one day they were going to be watching my son on those games.
Ain't that crazy? So let's go back. All right. So I met you back in Beacon Ridge. I was doing real estate out there. You lived over there in Bolingbrook. Right. And used to hang out with barbecue and stuff. And you kind of spoke this up. You spoke this into existence with Jevon. You was always very adamant about his work ethic and all of that stuff. Where did it come from? Where did it start for him as a young kid playing basketball?
Well, you have to remember, he's from a basketball playing family. His dad and his uncle, they were both ballers.
Okay.
So his dad and his uncle, they were both.
What's his dad's name?
Leroy Carter.
Leroy Carter. He played at Proviso East?
Yeah, he played at East.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then his uncle too. You say his uncle?
His uncle, I think his uncle played at West though. His uncle played at West.
What was his name?
Keith Carter.
Okay, we want to give them their roses, man, because I mean,
yeah, Keith Carter.
I think since Mike Finley and maybe Shannon Brown, Jevon Carter is the longest lifer. You know, the last person that y'all had come from over there to go to the league, right?
But we had Sterling too.
Sterling too, right?
Yeah,
yep, Sterling too.
Sterling.
What is it? What is it over there at Proviso East that's going on over there that's making these guys?
I don't know. You know, I'm a Southern girl. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I didn't know what it was, but I knew they were true to it. I knew when it came to basketball at East, it was something serious. I knew that. Right. And I knew that even the fellows that played years before Jevon and Sterling, they used to come back and play because Jevon's dad, Leroy, he used to open up the Boys and Girls Club over there in Bellwood.
Okay.
Every Sunday. Every Sunday of the year.
Wow.
From like 6 a.m. in the morning to 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Right.
They were there balling, and there would be ballers from the far south suburbs, from the west side of Chicago. They would come from all over because they were playing real ball over there.
That's
So if you
beautiful,
wanted
man.
competition, you went to the Boys and Girls Club.
Wow.
And then they used to do the rec. They used to do the rec right there on, I think that's 9th and Madison. They used to open up the rec on Fridays.
So basically, he basically, his dad kept him around the game at the rec, having him around the game with his
it
uncles
was
and all
in
that
it. He
stuff.
was, he was in the gym with his dad in a stroller. I mean, that's what that family does. That's what that family does, boys and girls. It wasn't just the boys. They take the girls to the gym too.
Wow.
The girls in the family can ball too.
Wow.
Yeah, Javon's cousin, Tisa, she played in college. She played ball. His sister played ball. His cousins, they all played ball.
Wow. So how is it when he comes around? Because he's the professional athlete in the family. And is it kind of like people's eyes get big, like, wow, this is my cousin playing for the Chicago Bulls?
He's the one playing for the NBA, but his brother, Kalen Fisher, he plays overseas. And then his cousin Keith Carter, he played overseas. He's injured now because he has a knee injury and he had surgery. But they all took it to college and then took it to a professional level.
Oh, so there are other cousins who play professionally as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
His cousin, him and Keith, they grew up like brothers. They grew up together like brothers. Keith is like a year and a half older.
Right.
But Keith got injured. He broke his toe in college. So that kind of hindered his professional NBA draft qualifications, but he's still balling. Like I said, it's in them. I don't know what it is, but it's in them. They're born with it.
I tell you,
and the fathers just take that and mold it into something professional, but they're born with it.
Talk about his dad's role in his life. How instrumental has he been for Jevon? Like his total growth process.
Well, I think that was his dad was there. His dad wasn't we weren't single parents, we were co-parents. And his dad he was there every step of the way.
Amen.
For practice, for camps, every game, he was there to critique him because he knows the game so well. He was there to critique. This is what you need to work on. This is what you need to do better. This is, where you're falling short.
Was there times when you felt he was too hard on him and you'd be like, hey, come on, you a little too hard on him?
Most of the time. Most of the time. Because I didn't understand the game of basketball like that.
Right.
So
right.
Look, Bobby, it was one time when Jevon had a game at the game was at West. And I think it was East versus West. Jevon had like 43 points.
Dang.
He hit a half-court shot. Of course, we won the game. He probably had like 4 steals, a couple of blocks. I mean, just an all-around good game. As soon as he came out of the locker room, his dad was in his face telling him about
what he didn't do.
Fussing about a free throw he missed. I just looked. I didn't say anything, but I just looked like, really? We doing that now? Right now?
I think he just gave them 40, huh?
Like, sir, 43. Like, what?
Wow.
What? I didn't get it, but Jevon's in the NBA now, and his dad is still the exact same way.
And that's beautiful, man. And you know what? That's you can honestly say that's probably what helped get him to that point. Because
it definitely did.
I ain't gonna say probably. That's what helped him because he went to Bob Huggins after that.
Right. Right. And he was ready.
And Bob Huggins is one of the toughest coaches in the history of coaches. How was that?
Huggy Bear couldn't hurt his feelings. He was used to it. He was conditioned for Huggy Bear. You hear me?
Right.
He was ready. He could not hurt his feelings. He wanted, and he listened well. And Huggins was hard, just like his dad. So it was nothing new to him. He was like, okay, like he never got upset with him about what he was saying. He took what he said and put it to good use.
You said he had 43 points in that game, but his ticket to the NBA was his lockdown defense. Him getting to the league, he was locking in college like a Doberman Pinscher. Who told him that?
He started that with his he started that with his AU coach, Dickie Simpkins.
Oh, okay.
Because Jevon was never really tall. You know, he's only
Right.
6'1.5" now. So he was
Right.
never tall. He did have like a 6-inch growth spurt in his 10th grade year.
Right.
But he was never really tall. So he couldn't, you know, he was always a 3-point beast.
Right.
Because he was so short. He couldn't get to the basket.
Right.
So he had to use what he had. But yeah, Dickie had a lot to do with that, teaching them defense and that 94 feet full press. Yeah, that started with Dickie Simpkins, I do believe.
And you know what? Us who don't know Jevon, that's on the side, we thought he was 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah,
he looks tall on TV. Yeah,
like we thinking the way that he's playing, his tenacity, we thinking he's a big guy. And then when he gets to the league, all the way to the league, and they say he's 6'1", 6'2", I'm like, well, damn. You know, this kid's tough.
Look, let me tell you a little thing I do as a mom. When he comes out to warm up and when they line up, you know, one team on one end of the court and one end on the other end, and they do the
public address announcement.
No, the song. What?
That Bull song
when they sing the national anthem.
Right.
And they're lined up. Jevon is always this tall, this tall. Then Jevon did this tall. He's always like somewhere in the middle of the line, and it drops down a lot, and then it goes back up with the real tall guys. And every time I look, I blush. I said, "Look at my baby." I always have that. Look at my baby. that little moment every game. Yeah.
And you know, a mother's love and a son's love is totally different from a dad and a son's love. Because when it comes to our mothers, we love the hell out of our fathers, but our mothers, it's a different type of thing. It's kind of like we overprotect them. How is Jevon about you? When it comes to you, is he overprotective of you?
No, not at all. And he's not like a mama's boy. He's not a mama's boy. He's been very independent since he was 4 years old. You know, he wanted to do it for himself. You show him how to do it, he'll do it for himself. I don't care if it's, you know, if he wants you to fix him a sandwich, he's like, okay, show me how you do that. You know, what did you put on this sandwich? He wants to do everything for himself. So when he was like 5 years old, and we were living in Woodridge at the time. And I told you his dad opens up the Boys and Girls Club at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm living in Woodridge. His dad's living in Maywood. So Jevon tell his dad, I'll be ready to go to the gym Sunday. So his dad tell him, well, no, you won't be able to go this Sunday because, you know, you're over here with your mom. So Jevon said, well, you can come get me because he you can come get me. His dad said, well, no, because I would have to come and get you too early. I would have to be there like, you know, 5:30 in the morning. That's really early. You know, he's 5. He don't understand how early that is. He's like, no, that would be too early for you. So I'm in my bedroom. He's in his bedroom. I get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. It's like maybe 4:45. I hear Jevon's television on. I go in there and peep in his room. Jevon's sitting there fully dressed, eating breakfast. He's eating.
5 years old.
What are you doing up? He said, I'm waiting on my dad to come take me to the gym. So I call his dad. I said, I don't know what you think you're doing, but you better be on your way to pick up your son because he is ready to go to the gym.
Wow.
He had set his own alarm. You know, it was just a little clock. Wow. He had set the alarm on the clock, got up, got dressed, fed himself, everything at 5 years old.
Wow.
And that's when I started seeing the discipline in him.
Right.
I'm like, it don't take much. It don't take much. You tell him what needs to be done, and he'll just do it.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Because a lot of kids gonna sleep in. Well, dad can't come. I'm gonna go sleep in then. And that's beautiful, man. Because I was
you don't understand. It was more serious than that. Like when I was in church in Chicago, I went to church at New Hope over on 47th Street, and I was gonna take a group of kids to Disneyland one year. Jevon was like 8 years old. Disneyland, okay, not Great America. Disneyland. Jevon said, Mama, I can't go. I got basketball to play. 8 years old. I'm not going.
He want to hoop.
No, he didn't go to Disneyland until he was in West Virginia. They played there, I think, like his senior year. And he sent me a picture with him and Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh. I said, oh, now you want to go to Disneyland. You could have went to Disneyland 10 years ago, but look
He
at
didn't want to
now.
go there.
I'm like, he was like, no, I'm good. Like, no, there's basketball to play.
That's beautiful, man.
And
That's
he
beautiful.
played basketball, football, soccer, baseball. He didn't care what season it was. When he was playing ball, he gave ball 100% of him. He didn't go anywhere. Not on a family trip, not for anything fun. It didn't make any difference what I had planned. If there was a basketball game, he was going.
He seems like that right now. He
He
seems
is.
all
He
about
is.
the business right now. Like, you just don't see him out nowhere. It just seems like he's all about the business.
You can catch him at the gym.
Right. Yeah. I know he's been playing in the runs out here, but as far as taking care of business, you guys have done a great job with him, man, because athletes come from Chicago, they got a plethora of pressure coming on them from people in the streets and all that stuff. How was y'all able to keep him away from that? From the people in Chicago, because Chicago will suck you in as a professional athlete.
Family.
Family.
The men in the family. His dad, his uncle, his grandfather, Jack Carter. They didn't play that. And he had to run, he had to run with his cousins. He didn't have like a lot of outside friends.
Oh.
It was him and his cousins. So they had to all be on the same accord. They were all ballers. They all played ball. So they all went to the gym together. They all came home from the gym together. Everything they did together. So it was like the village. It was like, so if I dropped him off, his dad picked him up, his uncle picked him up, one of his cousins picked him up.
Right. Wasn't no strays. Wasn't no straying away from this program we got here. And I think that's what we missed the mark at with young kids nowadays. We letting them have too much idle time. And what you just spoke of is keeping him and holding him accountable for what he wants to do and for what y'all expect of him.
Right.
But now look, you got a professional athlete. And you was talking about this way back then. When we was barbecuing, you was like, when he was in high school, you were like, oh, my baby going to the league.
Yeah, because he had already shown me so much. Right. As a parent, I had already seen enough discipline to know if he puts his mind to it, he can do it. But it wasn't, but this is the thing, Bobby. He never verbally said, I'm doing this because I want to play in the NBA.
Right.
I knew that was the desire in his heart.
Right.
Because he could have been a great principal. He could have been a great doctor. He could have been whatever he was going to do with his life. He was going to be great at it.
Exactly.
But the thing was, I saw where his passion was.
Right.
I knew he had a passion, and he was scouted to play professional baseball in high school.
Wow, I'm surprised he didn't go in that direction. Oh, because most young black boys, we go to hoop. But that baseball, you can play that till you're like 60 years old.
But it broke my heart, Bobby. It broke my heart.
It did? When he didn't pitch baseball?
Because he was a natural baseball player. A couple of weeks before the season started, his dad started taking him to the batting cage. When the season started, he read. It was just in him.
It was natural.
Basketball, he couldn't take a day off. He had to put something in the basketball every day. So to see him that young and working that hard, I wanted him to do something that came easy to him.
Right.
Like,
but the drive within him, but his drive was not to be complacent.
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing in you. So he wasn't going to do that because he did it so easy.
Exactly.
So he knew he had to work at basketball.
He loved the challenge of basketball.
What was it like when he got drafted? When he got drafted to the NBA and you at home and your son got drafted, because he got drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks. What was that, 2021? No, Brooklyn Nets, was it?
No, it was the Memphis Grizzlies.
In
2018.
2018.
And we weren't at home. We actually had a draft party for him over there at that facility in Chicago. We were in Chicago. It was said big facility. Is where they held the combine.
Oh, over there in Harris, over there, the Quest.
That's where it was.
Yeah.
So we had his Reggie Brown, his agent, set up a watch party for us to watch the draft over there, and we invited like all of his teammates he had all in that area, all of the family and friends, all of his past coaches, everybody that had provided any kind of support for him. So it was like 250 people in there,
Wow.
and then
Wow.
yeah, so it was, it was an amazing feeling, but it wasn't, at that point in my life, it wasn't a shock. I had known since he was like a junior in college that he was definitely going to make the league.
Right.
Because that's when I started paying more attention. One of my best friends, Ariel Groves, rest in peace, Fat was all he watched was Sports Center and basketball and football. So he knew the game. And between him and like Javon's grade school coach Goo, they would tell me, Javon gonna make it to the league. By the time he made it to the collegiate level, they knew Javon was, he got what it takes. And so when he went his junior year, he went to the combine and worked out, without getting an agent where he could go back to school, because he actually graduated and did all 4 years at West Virginia University. And when he came back from that combine, it was something different in him. It was a fire in him, because now he's playing up against the guys that are going into the draft.
Right.
And he knew. I always knew. But at that point, he knew he had it. He like, I'm as good as them.
Yeah.
And he went back, and hey, him and Huggins went back to work. They went back to work. Like, this is what Huggins told him, this is what you need to work on. He took the feedback from the combine, and Huggins put in the work, and that's he knew from that point on he was going. So it wasn't a shock to me that he was drafted. I was just excited about where he would go. And think about it, Memphis is my hometown.
You couldn't wait. It was like,
so when the Grizzlies chose him, that was like a dream that the basketball gods granted me that I wasn't ready for. My heart couldn't take that. And my family, my brother and my brothers and my nieces and nephews that were because they came up from Memphis to the watch party in Chicago. And when they said the Grizzlies, it was so funny. My family was hollering, Javon's coming home. But they don't realize this is not Javon's home. Memphis isn't Javon's home. It's our home.
Right.
It was like Javon's second home, but boy, we that right there, that was better than anything.
That's that full circle.
Yeah,
that was God said, God.
That was too much. I really almost fell out. I almost fell out. Yeah, that was a lot.
Mama, that's home. You get to come home. That's a blessing, man, and that's what it's about. The memory, that time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that is an unforgettable moment.
Wow, I know it was to see that happen and to be drafted. So he go there, and I don't want to go over too long because I love chopping it up with you. But I was looking at, I want to skip around a little bit. I want to go from, he was in Milwaukee. He was doing his thing in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Was you happy with him in Milwaukee?
When he's happy, that's when I'm happy.
Okay.
He was happy in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
The team was happy with what he was doing in Milwaukee.
Sure was.
Milwaukee was happiness. Yeah, we loved Milwaukee. We loved the Bucks.
You spent plenty of time down there in Milwaukee?
Not a lot. My son does what he does. That's his profession. Right. I like to go to the warm weather games. I still live in Memphis. So when I have to tread to Milwaukee and Chicago and Detroit, I'm like, this is not as much fun as it used to be. I'm an old lady now. I'm like, whoo, I'm going to watch it on TV. Wait a minute. I'm like, how cold is it? And Minnesota is a no-go. I never go to Minnesota. Like, no, that's not an option. No. Mm-mm.
I know I skipped around a little bit,
but Phoenix was great.
Phoenix was a great time. I know. Yeah, how was Phoenix?
Phoenix was awesome.
Wow.
That was one of my favorite places.
Because it's hot all year round in Phoenix.
Yeah. The weather, the organization, the gym.
Yeah, they're a class act organization, from what they say
Phoenix
in the NBA.
Phoenix was top tier. Yeah, Phoenix was great.
And then Brooklyn, how was that?
Brooklyn was Brooklyn.
I like the East Coast though. Brooklyn was nice.
Brooklyn was Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Too many people. I keep telling you, I'm a Southern girl. I like parking lots.
It ain't nowhere to
grass
park.
And trees. Brooklyn was Brooklyn was not made for me, okay?
So
But it doesn't make any difference. He can play in the jungle and you still gonna get the same thing out of him.
one thing I can say, like I say, man, it's been Chicago, it's been a calling card for Chicago point guards to be dogs on defense to get to the league. I mean, he come from a long line of two. Tony Allen, Patrick Beverly. I'm talking about in recent memory. Tony Allen, Patrick Beverly.
Him. They call in Memphis, they call Tony Allen the Godfather of basketball. And they call when Jevon got here, they called him the Godson.
That's
he played
beautiful,
a lot
man.
Tony Allen.
I'm telling you, man, that's the Chicago calling card. They want all our guards. We don't need you to score. We need you to go stop that guard over there. And and that's what we do. So
but the good thing is he doesn't have to score. Like that's not, but people forget that he can.
That's
so
the
if
thing.
You need him to score, if you're losing, because there's only one thing he hates on this earth, and that's losing the game. That's why you'll see him play the same in a preseason game, a tournament game, a charity game. It doesn't make him any difference.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you about that, CJ. He go from scoring 40. We know, like people forget, Chicago guards can score.
Right.
But when we get to the league, y'all want to just make us play defense. Do you know that we can score the hell out that ball still?
Yeah.
Like Pat Bev. They just showed Pat Beverly over there scoring the hell out of the ball. But he took a lower role in the NBA. Speak to that. Would you please let people know that Jevon can still score the hell out of that ball if he want to? He was getting 40 and all of that. So don't get it twisted. It's a profession. It's a job.
Right. And people forget that he has a role on the team. He has coaches he has to listen to, coaches that coach him. Sometimes you're not supposed to score, even when you want to.
Right.
So in order for him to get the playing time he has to listen to the coaches telling him to do what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
If they give him a role and tell him this is what you're supposed to do, that's what he has to do. He can't just go out there like it's a street ball game and just shoot every time he touch the ball just because that's what he wants to do. Like, no, that's not the way it works.
Talk about that. The role. It's a business. I'm so glad you said that.
And it's a team, and he has to play his role on the team, on the floor at all times.
It's just like going to work at your job at ComEd.
Exactly.
He has
now, if you look at his record, if you look at every team he's ever played on, when it comes down to the end of the season, that's when you see Jevon going off.
Right.
That's when you see him going off.
I think people forget, like, Chicago, first of all, Chicago players, we can score the hell out the ball, but we will stop you on defense.
Right.
So most people come get us because we can stop you and we talk the most trash. So don't get it twisted.
Not a trash talker. Jevon's not a trash talker.
He don't talk no trash at all?
None at all.
Okay.
None at all. That is not part of his game at all.
Wow.
He can show you. He can show you. He like, oh, okay. He listened to a lot of trash talk. He just look. I can tell what's going on, from 40 feet away. When I see him turn his head like he heard somebody say something he didn't like. When I see a quick one of those, what? I be like, we got action.
So you had that moment of him coming to Memphis and playing, and that was it. So when he came to Chicago, I know his dad was like, "Oh hell no, he in Chicago."
Yeah. So now all the rest of the family gets him. Like there's a big part of my family here in Memphis, but then even Milwaukee. We're an hour and 15 minutes away from Maywood and Bellwood. So they still went up to Milwaukee a lot. But now in Chicago, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's like he was able to bring the family together without even trying to bring the family together through sports.
And when he was in Phoenix, his uncle Keith lives in Arizona now.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
So he got to go to all the Phoenix games. So I'm like, now we can just get him down to Dallas. That's where his auntie Jackie lives, and then she'll be able to come to all the games. Then that would come full circle for the family. Everybody got a chance, got a season with Jevon in the league.
Dallas. Yeah. Hey, he'll fit in good in Dallas.
My sister, one of my sisters, Robbie, her and her husband, My brother-in-law Billy, oh, they would eat that up. They would love that.
Hey, he would fit in good in Dallas, man, because Kyrie, that would take some pressure off Kyrie trying to play some damn defense because Kyrie just can go score the ball. And
Well,
Jevon, he can just go lock.
he had Kyrie in Brooklyn, but Kyrie wasn't playing then because of the COVID situation.
Right.
But he knows Kyrie, yeah. He had him as a teammate before.
If you had some advice to give to a mother who has a son who's a basketball phenom about women, what would you tell her?
Don't try to outcoach the coach.
No, not about winning, about women. If you got a son,
when it comes to raising a male athlete,
when it comes to women, what would you
never overstep your boundaries with the coach. Do not try to outcoach the coach. Let the coach your son.
No, I'm saying
you just be mama.
I said with women, ladies.
What about with ladies?
What do you tell a mother when they have a son that's a basketball professional athlete and these women are coming at them constantly? What do you tell your son? What do you tell him?
Fortunately, I didn't have to deal with that a lot. Jevon had one girlfriend when he started and one girlfriend the rest of his professional life. He's now married to her. They are expecting a baby. So he's just not that guy. You have to know who your child is. Like my son was never that guy. He was never, a ladies' man. He was always focused. Because think about it. In his mind, if this woman is taking the focus off my game, that's not the woman for me. No matter what, nothing came between him and basketball. You hear me?
Right.
So she had to be understanding. She had to know. So if she isn't trying to go to the gym with him or understand that he says, baby, I'll be right back. I'm going to the gym for an hour and he don't come back till 4 hours later. Trust me, he's still at the gym.
Right.
You have to know him. You can go to the gym with him. You can help him get his rebounds. You can drop him off at the gym, pick him up, whatever. But just know he's at the gym. So it doesn't, I don't think it's the lead or the money that changes you. It's who you are. It just shows who you really are and who you want to be. Jevon never wanted to be that guy.
Right. That's beautiful,
Never.
Man. And I would say that having two parents helped that. I'm gonna go and say it.
It was more than two parents because it's a lot. It's a lot on two parents.
Right. But the community then, right?
Yeah, I don't know how single mothers do it. I don't know. I see them struggling and it seems almost impossible, but I know it's a lot of single mothers that, they have sons in the league. But it seems almost impossible to me because when I think about how much I had to put in, and then I think about as much as his dad had to do and his uncle and his cousins, it took everybody because it was so many of the boys and they playing for different schools. You got one at Downers Grove, you got one at East and one at West, and there's a lot of picking up and dropping off going on. And we have to figure out, okay, the girls are playing over here and the boys are playing over here. Well, I'm gonna go watch the girls at 6 o'clock and y'all go to the boys game at 7:30. It was just a lot. So it took more than mom and dad. You hear me?
I'm so glad you said that. Are those school rings you got on?
This is a Sweet 16 from West Virginia. This was his first Sweet 16 ring. Nice. He got 3 of these with West Virginia. 3. This is actually a ring. He has a fan club. And this one fan club is called Jevon Carter Collector, and they only collect Jevon Carter memorabilia and cards and stuff. And the group of them, they made these rings for the people in there, and they were nice enough to send me one. And I love it's heavy. I swear it weighed like 6 pounds, but it's heavy. It's heavy, but I love it. I thought it was so sweet. And it actually it says Jevon's name. It's got Jevon with the ball in his hand, and there's a lot of detail in it, but it's heavy.
Hey,
I would not want to get hit by this one. This one, no. This one, definitely not. This one should probably be registered as a weapon if I hit you with this one, but nah. But yeah, Jevon got 3 Sweet 16s with West Virginia. That's the only thing he missed. He always wanted to go further than 316.
But that's good to make it the three Sweet 16.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
They only missed the tournament 1 year. They went to the tournament, but they got out like the first round.
And he was a big part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, he was. That's huge, man.
Yeah. When Coach Huggins got him and Daxter Miles Jr., he was able to bring his press back, and they became Press Virginia. So they brought the press back, and Press Virginia. Press Virginia.
There you go.
Yeah, we still trying to press. We still trying to get another ring with West Virginia. That's still.
Do y'all still stand ball with the school?
Oh yeah.
Are you still?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I go to at least 3 or 4 games a year.
That's
of course,
good.
Jevon doesn't make it to the games. Jevon doesn't make because that's during his season too. But yeah, right. I go to the football games because it's nothing. Look, I really just go. I go to the football games for the tailgate. Because their tailgating is off the chain. You have not tailgated till you tailgated with the Mountaineers. You hear me? Starting at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm there for it. I love it. I love it.
That is beautiful.
Because Jevon was there for a whole year, so I met lots of great people from West Virginia, and not all of them live in West Virginia now. They travel. They travel to the games, and I travel to see them. Yeah, I made some great friends.
Speak to that about that whole college experience, man, and then we'll get out of here. Speak to that college experience as far as with Jevon, that 4 years, how important that was for y'all, to experience that at one school, because they don't do that no more.
And I don't think there's a lot of other schools that have that kind of support and camaraderie, because the Mountaineers support Jevon in his professional career, no matter where he goes. I don't care where their team is. They're still going to support Jevon Carter on his team.
Wow.
When he was with the Grizzlies, I used to set up meet and greets after the game. I would have anywhere from 20 to 200 people in their Mountaineer gear there just to take pictures and meet him and say, thank you for what you did at West Virginia. When I say there's nothing, and see, in West Virginia, they don't have any other professional sports.
Right.
So the fans there, they support their university. They support Marshall and WVU Tech and, West Virginia University. That's who they support. And I mean, they give it 100%. Wow. You hear me? They give it all of them. They pour out they support them. The Alumni Association still raise a lot of money for the schools and still support. They still come out to the games, win or lose. We're going to be there. We're going to be in the stands because we want to get a W so we can sing Country Roads at the end. But you ain't seen nothing. You seen me singing Country Roads. What? Because that's a good time, because that means we won. So I'm looking forward to Country Roads after every game.
Oh, man. And people underestimate the experience, the whole college experience, man. If anybody's watching and people have been watching, and I know people come back and watch, we're not trying to make you go to college and make you feel like you're better than anybody else. It's those memories.
Right.
Of being able to have something to go back to. You got something to go back to. You got football season. You got basketball season. Shit, if you want to go watch baseball, you can go watch that too. Mm-hmm. So that's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Is there anything else you want to share before we get up out of here, man, about,
No, this was on you, Bobby.
Man, I appreciate you, CJ, man. We've known each other since back in the days in Bolingbrook and all of that.
15 years now.
At least 15, almost damn near 20. And then you spoke into existence, your son going to the pros. You was always very, very, very positive about that. So I can see where he get it from. And I haven't met his dad.
Now, I'm not an NBA fan. I'm not a basketball fan. I'm not a sports fan. I don't know anything about any of that. All I know is I am Jevon Carter's #1 fan. I know Jevon Carter. I know I know what he's capable of doing. I know what he has done. I know what he has yet to do. And I believe in him. Like, I can't tell you what the Chicago Bulls are going to do. I don't know. But what I can tell you, let Jevon Carter do what he do, and I promise you, he'll put it on the show for you.
You be out there, if he ain't in the game, you be like, put my damn baby in the game.
No,
We
not
need to go
anymore.
to mall.
It took me a minute to calm down, but yeah, that was my first couple of years. Oh man, now I just kick back in. I'm like, oh hey baby, I'm good. I'm laid back now.
This ain't AAU, this the NBA.
Yeah, I'm laid back now. I'm like, man, we 6 seasons in. I'm chill now. I'm chill. I can eat popcorn now at the game. Before I could, I'm sitting there tense. What's going on? I gotta watch everything going on. Now I'm like, hey, let's just get this win. Let's just get this win.
Amen. Well, Miss Johnson, Cynthia, I tell you what, man, it was a pleasure chopping it up with you. Man, thank you for sharing all these great memories with us, man. We had a great time chatting it up. We're going to get
No
back
problem,
to it again, man. Thank you for talking, man. And I'm going to put it on IG so we can share with everybody on IG. This your boy, Bobby Reed. We got CJ. We talk about Jevon Carter. We up out of here. Peace, y'all. When I'm woke, what's the bottom of it say?
When I woke up.
When I woke up,
When
I
I
can't see the
woke
bottom.
up.
Stand up. I can't see it. Is it the bottom?
That's just his,
Oh,
that's
okay.
just his autograph. And
That's cool.
that's the emblem for treadmill mentality, his foundation.
Nice.
Yeah, so check out you can get these shirts on treadmillmentality.com and some other treadmill mentality. Yeah, and other treadmill mentality gear. So whenever you want to be geared up, whenever you about to go into the gym, you need a little extra oomph, you look down at that treadmill mentality and you can say to yourself, if Jevon Carter did it, I can do it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Y'all don't forget that.
treadmillmentality.com.
That's right. We up out of here, man. Jevon Carter, CJ, your boy Bobby Reed. Peace.